From chart-topping collabs with Taylor Swift to getting booed off stage in just months. Ice Spice's fall might be the fastest we've ever seen in hip-hop. But this isn't just another story about a rapper losing relevance. It's about how the industry's newest princess went from having everything to watching it all slip away. 25 million monthly listeners, gone. A debut album that barely sold 28,000 copies. And now, former friends exposing dark secrets that'll make you question everything you thought you knew about the Bronx breakout star.
Untrustworthy, fake, disloyal, ingenuine, manipulative, and calculated.
But before we talk about how it all fell apart, we need to understand how Ice Spice captured the industry in the first place. Because trust me, this story gets wild. The year was 2022, and a girl with orange curls and a distinctive flow was about to change the game. At least, that's what the industry wanted us to believe. Let's be real. Ice Spice's rise wasn't an accident. Every move was calculated, every viral moment orchestrated. From that first Munch video to her carefully curated image, the machine behind her knew exactly what they were doing. But here's where things get interesting. You see, when Drake slid into her DMs, it seemed like Ice Spice was unstoppable. Cosigns from Nicki Minaj, a Taylor Swift collab, even a spot on the Barbie soundtrack. She had it all. So, what went wrong? See, there's something nobody's talking about when it comes to Ice Spice's downfall. Something that goes deeper than just lost streams or flopped singles. It's about authenticity, industry games, and what happens when the image you've built starts to crumble. Today, we are breaking down exactly how we got here. Because trust me, this isn't just about music. This is about everything that happens when you rise too fast and forget who you really are. You know that feeling when something feels too perfect? That was Ice Spice's come up. Let me paint the picture. It's August 2022. A video drops on World Star Hip Hop. Within days, everyone's quoting, "You thought I was feeling you?" The timing was perfect, maybe too perfect. See, while everyone was focused on the catchy hook and viral dance moves, something else was happening behind the scenes. The industry machine was moving at full speed. 10K projects and Capitol Records didn't just see a rapper with potential. They saw a product they could sell. And sell, they did. But here's what most people don't realize. Ice Spice wasn't just another artist who got lucky with TikTok. She was the perfect storm of marketing, timing, and image. The curly hair, the New York swagger, the carefully crafted persona. It was all by design. And let me tell you, in today's music industry, that's exactly how the game works. See, we're living in an era where going viral isn't just a bonus, it's the whole strategy. The industry has figured out the formula. Take a pretty face, add a catchy hook, sprinkle in some meme-worthy moments, and watch the numbers climb. But here's where Ice Spice was different. Because behind every overnight success, there's usually years of grinding. But Ice, she had something else. Connections. Remember Riot, her main producer? Yeah, turns out he's the son of Hot 97's DJ Enough. Now, I'm not saying that's why she blew up, but in this industry, let's just say it didn't hurt. When Drake co-signed her in late 2022, it felt like a fairy tale moment. But in reality, it was just another perfectly orchestrated move in a game of industry chess. And trust me, the real players were just getting started. By 2023, Ice Spice was everywhere, collaborating with Nicki Minaj, hanging with Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl, even getting her own Dunkin' Donuts drink. But here's what most people missed. Success in the streaming era is different. It's not about sustainability, it's about moments. Now, let's talk numbers for a second. At her peak, Ice was pulling in over 40 million monthly Spotify listeners. That's more than some artists who've been in the game for decades. But here's the thing about streaming numbers. They can disappear as fast as they come. And that's exactly what started happening. See, there's this unwritten rule in hip-hop. At some point, you've got to prove you're more than just hype. That's where the album comes in. Y2K was supposed to be Ice Spice's moment to silence the critics, to prove she was here to stay. Instead, it sold 28,000 copies the first week. Now, for some artists, that might be a win. But for someone who was just on top of the world, that's when people started asking questions. Real questions, like was Ice Spice ever really that girl? Or was she just a product of perfect marketing? This is where things get messy, because while Ice Spice was living her best life in the spotlight, behind the scenes, a storm was brewing. And it all started with a tour invite that would expose everything. See, when Ice Spice invited fellow rapper Cleo Trappa on tour, it seemed like a classic industry come-up story. One artist helping another, right? Wrong. What happened next exposed everything wrong with today's music industry. But here's what makes this situation different from your typical industry beef. There were receipts. And I mean receipts. Imagine being invited on tour with 1 day's notice, promised everything would be covered, then getting treated like a second-class citizen. No dressing room, no food budget, having to carry your own bags while security watches. But it gets worse. While Cleo was struggling just to get a chicken salad on tour, someone used her credit card to buy $700 worth of designer clothes. Now, I'm not saying Ice Spice knew about this, but when you're the headliner, everything that happens on your tour is your responsibility. But the Cleo situation was just the beginning. Remember that whole thing with Central C? The one that had everyone thinking they were dating? Well, it turns out it was all fake. A PR stunt for their collab did it first. Now, PR stunts aren't new in hip-hop, but using someone's real heartbreak for promotion was diabolical. That's when fans started seeing through the facade. And then came the leaked messages. Now, we need to talk about these because they changed everything. Ice Spice's former friend, Baby Stormy, dropped bombs that shook the industry. Messages showing Ice calling Nicki Minaj ungrateful and delusional. The same Nicki who helped put her on with Princess Diana and Barbie World. Let's put this in perspective. In the streaming era, your public image isn't just part of your success. It is your success. When that image starts cracking, everything else follows. Look at these numbers. From 40 million monthly listeners to barely 15 million in less than a year. That's not just a decline, that's a free fall. But here's what's really interesting. Even Ice Spice's viral moments weren't hitting the same. Remember when every Ice Spice video would rack up millions of views? Now, the magic was gone. But why? Well, let's talk about the music itself. When your biggest talking point is bars about being poopy like I need a diaper, you might have a problem. Now, when Complex asked her thoughts on being called an industry plant, she claimed to be a marketing genius. And you know what? Maybe she was right, just not in the way she meant. Because her career has become a masterclass in what happens when marketing outpaces talent. See, here's the thing about viral fame in 2025. It's like building a house of cards in a windstorm. Sure, it might look impressive for a minute, but without a solid foundation, it's all coming down. Let's put this in perspective. Artists like Doja Cat and Megan Thee Stallion, they survived their viral moments because they had something more to offer. But Ice Spice? The formula never evolved. 10 tracks, 23 minutes. That's all we got from her debut album. And half of those tracks we'd heard them before, and the other half sounded pretty much the same. It's like serving leftovers at a 5-star restaurant and expecting people not to notice. But this isn't just about Ice Spice. This is about an industry that's gotten too good at manufacturing moments and too bad at developing artists. We're living in an era where going viral is the goal, not the beginning. Look at these numbers. Her Instagram engagement is still high, but her music numbers are in free fall. That's not an artist problem. That's an influencer problem. And in 2025, that's a dangerous place to be. Because here's what nobody wants to talk about. The industry is running out of places to hide. When you can't rely on auto-tune and live performances, when every backstage moment can be exposed, when your own friends are ready to leak your texts, what's left? Let me know in the comments what you think. Can Ice Spice turn this around? Or is this just another case of the industry moving too fast for its own good?